Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome.
There's a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
As long as the Matrix exists, the human race will never be free.
Start somewhere. It has to start sometime. What better place than here? What better time than now?
Terrorists! Terrorize this.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.
$10,000 fists in the air. That goes out to all the future revolutionaries that are yet to come. Greetings, free thinkers, truthers, anti-globalists, and people with testicular fortitude. You don't even need testicles to have testicular fortitude, by the way. It is Thursday, October 20th, 2011. You have found yourselves with your fists in the air here on the front lines in this war on our humanity. I am your host, Darren Stone, broadcasting to you live from FEMA Region 1. Tonight's call-in number is 917-889-3064 if you feel like unmuting yourself. 917-889-3064. I am going to apologize up front for what may transpire on this broadcast this evening, because I am one pissed off individual. I don't even really know where to start at this point. I am disgusted. I am ashamed, and I am sad for how we allow shit like this to continue. It's pathetic. It really is. It really is. The thing that set me off is the whole supposed murdering of Gaddafi. How long is this going to go on for? How many people do they have to sell to us? Do they have to shove down our throats that are supposedly standing in the way of global peace before we supposedly have peace? I want the fucking plan. I want the list. Okay? Well, we got Saddam, we got Bin Laden, we got Anwar al-Awlaki, now we got Gaddafi. Who's next on the list? Who's standing in the way where our illustrious leaders, okay, tell us, got to get rid of these guys so we can have peace in the world. They're bad guys. Where I want to see the list so we know, because I want to know. I want to know where it ends, and I want to know, after that last person on the list is killed. I want to know. I want to know, because when that person's killed, I expect to wake up the next fucking morning and have everything be great, perfect, peace. right? The police state will pull back. The Patriot Act will get thrown in the trash, right? No more surveillance on us, right? No more having your crotch fisted and your balls grabbed at the airport, because everything will be fine, right? Of course, I'm being 100% sarcastic. I mean, if any... That was my last penny falling out of my pocket, by the way. I don't even know. I'm okay, you know what? I'm going to start reading some stuff and see if I can, well, it's not going to help. I can tell you that. We have our version of the Stasi, the TSA, and now see, according to the new legislation being introduced, what is it, HR 1303? Is that what it is? I can now be punished. I have now committed a crime, or I will commit some crimes in the next couple minutes, because I'm going to be broadcasting satire involving the TSA and what a bunch of douchebags that entire organization is, led by a major walking psychological paradigm known as Janet Napolitano. We have them on the streets officially. Now officially fighting terror on the streets. Checkpoints. Just like any communist country, just like Germany, Hitler's Germany, by the way. The next time some fucking Iraq vet says to me, "Hey, if you don't like this country, get the fuck out," or you know what? Why don't you go live somewhere else? You think you got it bad here. Hey, what's the fucking difference? What's the difference? It's the same. The only difference is money. That's the only difference. I have a higher standard of living, okay, than some guy in a third world country. But the oppression's still the same. The survival isn't. That's not what I'm referring to. But don't worry, the survival will catch up with the oppression here. Let me quote. Let me quote from the murdering psychopath that we have in the White House. Okay? From Obama, he says today, "Libyans won revolution. Opportunity ahead." Yeah, Barry, but not opportunity for the people. It's opportunity for the corporatocracy, for the privatization of Libya, for the raping of the resources and the oppression of the people. There's where the opportunity lies. See, he's not lying. He's just not talking to you. He's talking to all his buddies that sent him off on that little mission. You know, the KBRs, the BPs, the GEs, the Pfizers. Brand new playing ground. Go ahead, kids. Everybody go play now. Do your thing. Do what you do. Go do what you do. This is out of the Associated Press from Obama. By the way, I saw a great picture on Facebook this week. Obama has launched more missiles than any other Peace Prize winner, or all Peace Prize winners combined. Peace Prize? What a fucking joke. Tell me what's not a joke. Tell me, someone call in. Let me get a caller tonight. Tell me something that's on the level. Tell me something that's actually real that we're told about. That's put up in front of our face. Someone tell me something. I'm not going to argue with anybody. I just want to know. So here we go. Declaring the end of a tyrant's reign, President Barack Obama on Thursday cast the demise of Muammar Gaddafi as a momentous opportunity for Libya and its long-suffering people. You have won your revolution, he told them. What a piece of fucking shit. I mean, I'm going to tell you, I have to rub elbows with some staunch Obama supporters in a week or so. And I have to say, it's going to be difficult for me to not cause some issues. Because these people are useless. I can't even explain, I can't even begin to contemplate how anybody can rationalize the actions or any amount of filth that falls out of this man's face. I mean, I can't even. You have to be completely fluoridated, medicated, and a total douchebag. Plain and simple. I don't give a shit how many degrees you got, how much money you make, what you think you know. So Obama goes on to say, one of the world's longest-serving dictators is no more. Boy, you couldn't tell that from the picture I threw up on the Front's Facebook page today of Barry and Muammar shaking hands and smiling at each other. You know, I mean, hey Barry, what about your buddy who? President who? What about him as far as dictators go? What about your Saudi buddies? What about the Egyptian army controlling Egypt now? What about them? No oppression going on there? No? Everything's good? Yeah? Everything's fine? All right. Obama claimed no personal vindication for his approach to U.S. intervention, but he hailed the success of the NATO effort. The NATO effort. Yes, the NATO effort, if you've seen some of the footage from some of the Libyan children with their faces blown off thanks to NATO. Good effort, guys. Proud to be an American. Oh, I'm so proud. And the thing is, you know what? I'm also sick and tired. I am sick and tired of hearing people defend the troops. It's over now. No more defense for you. If you wear a fucking United States military uniform and you're still going along with the program, go fuck yourself. You don't represent me. You're not fighting for my freedom or anybody else's freedom. You're a globalist, corporate, lackey, useless, idiot tool. That's what you are. And you're a murdering piece of shit. Sorry, it's the way it is. It's the truth. I told you, don't bring kids to tonight's show. Probably my least listened to show ever by the time this thing is over. Obama goes on to say, the dark shadow of tyranny has been lifted. Really? Where? Really? Because, I mean, I've seen lots of footage of Libya pre-invasion. Look pretty nice. Highest living standard in the region. The state gives you $40,000 when you get married. $20,000 when you open up a business. That's stimulating the economy right there. Hey, all you entrepreneurs out there, you want to start a business? Hey, you want to open up a little shop of your own? Well, you go right ahead because that's the backbone of the American economy, buddy. So we're going to hook you up with $20,000 to get you started. Boy, good thing we got rid of that tyrant. See, because when you open a small business up over here, you get bent over and fucked every which way. You do. There you go. Another stat from Libya. Best GDP in all of Africa. What a tyrant. And over here, we can muster up a what? What's our GDP right now? I think the number's so small I can't even see it. Yeah, excellent comment in chat. They had a higher GP in the U.S. in a way after we pay taxes upon taxes upon taxes. That's what I'm saying. The oppression, you know, just because your oppressor gives you some shit to play with to keep you preoccupied doesn't mean you're not being oppressed. You know, here's another. Let me play this. Let me play. Here's a class act. Here's what that fucking whore, Hillary Clinton. Here's a class act right here. Does she represent you, me? I mean, is this fucking person? Who is this beast? This fucking creature? Listen to what she says about Gaddafi being killed. She says, "We came, we saw, he died," and laughs.
So, I mean, that is the land of unconfirmed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Did it have anything to do with your visit?
No, I'm sure it did.
So, I mean, that is the land of unconfirmed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Did it have anything to do with your visit?
Oh, it's so
I'm
funny.
sure it did.
I can't wait to see your corpse hanging in a fucking tree, Hillary. Then I'm going to laugh at it. I mean, honestly, is that... I don't know. I don't know if you can feel what I'm saying here. I mean, does that represent anybody out there? Is any Democrat going to say anything about that display? You know all the liberal fuck faces out there that like to call everybody racist and all that ridiculous shit because they have no argument for their points ever. So they just make up names and fucking yell at you and shit. Anybody gonna call her out on that? I'm not defending Republicans. They're just as ridiculously scummy and pathetic and gross. All the waving their fucking patriot flags around, missing George Bush, who signed the Patriot Act and started the whole shenanigans with these illegal wars. We really are. I mean, people, we really are the most pathetic country in the world. The most pathetic. Give me somebody more pathetic than us besides England. Don't say China, because those idiots have been living under communist rule or dictatorship their entire lives, so they're used to it. That's how they roll over there. But not us. See, we're such a bunch of assholes. We let people tell us how free we are. We watch football games and watch the Blue Angels fly overhead and watch all the servicemen around the field salute, and everybody salutes. Yeah. America. Right. I wasn't even going to do the show tonight. I didn't want to do it because I knew this is how I was going to be, and I don't want to subject people to this, but I can't fake it. So if I'm going to turn the thing on and do it, this is what's going to come out. Listen to this bullshit. This fucking guy. I mean, oh my God. And you know it's people. There's people that can't let it come off their tongue. They can't say Obama is just like Bush. They can't do it. My mother's one of them. She cannot do it. She cannot utter the words. She'll agree. She'll nod her head. She'll say yes, but she cannot say the words. Not that I think it's a big deal that she said. I just make a note. That's some pretty fucked up psychological program we've got going on there, Ma. He goes on to say here, oh, look at this. Wait. Here we go. Gaddafi's death is the latest in a string of foreign policy victories this year for the Obama administration, including the killing of al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden and the recent strike against radical U.S.-born cleric in Yemen. So that's our foreign policy, people. We assassinate dudes. So he has some foreign policy victories. He's got some dead guys under his belt. And you know what? His picture's up in classrooms, and kids are being taught they can be just like him. Yeah. You can be just like that man, Bobby. Foreign policy victories. While the U.S. briefly took the lead in NATO bombing campaign in Libya, really, now, according to CNN, it was just NATO. I'm being sarcastic again. I thought it was just NATO on TV when all of us on radio and people telling the truth out there said, hey, hey, it's not American forces in there, everybody. It's NATO. Yeah, NATO. So while the U.S. briefly took the lead in the NATO bombing campaign in Libya, America quickly took a secondary role to its allies. Yeah, it's like, here you go, dude. Here's the gun. Here's the gun. Here's the gun. Here's the gun. Here's the bombs. Here's the gun. He's over there. Here's the bomb. Here's the gun. He's over there. He's right over there. And here's the bombs. Here's the guns. And here's the bombs. Here's the guns. And he's right over there. That was the role we took. Obama said the joint international effort showed what can be achieved by collective action. Hey, one more reason to avoid the entire collective mindset. Quote, without putting a single U.S. service member on the ground, we achieved our objectives and our NATO mission will soon come to an end, he said. Total lie. You don't think there was U.S. special forces in there orchestrating that from the get-go, working with MI6, all wrapped up in a nice little, neat little package with Al-Qaeda mixed in for a little bit of spice? So you throw in some U.S., some British, some operatives, some special ops, mix it all up in a pot and whammo bammo, you got NATO. The president was unsparing in his description of Gaddafi. He said the Libyan ruled the people with an iron fist. Basic human rights were denied. Innocent civilians were detained, beaten, and killed. Kind of like what you all are seeing on Occupy Wall Street. Innocent civilians, unarmed, being beaten, detained, not killed yet. Well, then we have, of course, Anwar al-Awlaki, who was an American citizen and who was given no trial, no jury, no nothing. Just kill him. His daddy's founder of the ACLU, and he was also a guest of the Pentagon at one point. But, hey, then he became a foreign policy victory as he was blown into smithereens. Ruled the people with an iron fist. I don't know what classifies as that. I guess if driving down the road and getting stopped by a federal agency to prove that you're an American citizen and have your car searched without probable cause and no warrant, does that qualify as an iron fist? Because that's what's going on right now in the United States. You think it's going to stop there? People have no fucking idea. Terror was used. Obama has the actual balls to say this. He must have borrowed Michelle's balls too to come out with this beauty. Terror was used as a political weapon. That's what this dude just said. Terror was used as a political weapon. You know, everybody, if you can think back to September 10th, 2001, and farther than that date, we never heard the word terror or terrorist. But goddamn, I don't think you can make it through a day without hearing that word about 200 times now. It's fully ingrained into the American psyche. Comment in chat. Gaddafi and his family had an estimated $33 billion and $60 billion in unaccounted money around the world before his death. The country's oil wealth was the world's 12th largest oil exporter. Yes, and they were not part of a centralized banking system, and that's why he had to go. But no, it was because he ruled his people with an iron fist. I personally know a guy who worked on Gaddafi's private jet plane when he flew into Bradley International Airport in Connecticut about 2 years ago when he was looking to buy a house in New Jersey. When he was looking to buy a house in New Jersey. That's right. That's right. And the person I know said he was a pretty nice guy. Kind of weird. Didn't use deodorant. The plane smelled. Pretty nice guy. I can't even believe Obama had the balls to say terror was used as a political weapon. What was his justification for the invasion of Libya? What's his justification for the continuing of the wars? What's his justification for the police state being implemented into this country? What is his justification for all of your rights to be stripped away? What's his justification for me, if I make fun of the TSA, that I can now be convicted of a federal fucking crime? Isn't that terror used as a political weapon? Oh, but hold on. Yet he cautioned of difficult days ahead in Libya, where enormous challenges of governance and stability remain. Well, yeah, douchebag, when you blow the whole fucking place up, what do you think's going to go on there? I mean, what the? He's brilliant. He goes on to say, but the United States, together with the international community, is committed to the Libyan people. I'm sure you are. Hey, I'm sure that little boy with his jaw blown off his face feels the commitment you have, Barack. I'm sure he can feel how committed you are to him and his people, Barack. Today's events prove once more that the rule of an iron fist inevitably comes to an end, and you better fucking remember that. Separately, Vice President Joe Biden, oh, what a class act this guy is, and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton offered measured optimism about Libya's future. Here, let me play it again for the people that missed it. Here's Hillary. Here's the class act that Hillary Clinton is.
So, I mean, that is the land of unconfirmed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
We came, he saw, he died. Ha, 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 ha. You little carpet munching bitch. Not that that's a bad thing, just calling her out on it. Quote, in this case, America spent $2 billion total and didn't lose a single life. Oh, my God. This is more of the prescription for how to deal with the world as we go forward than it has been in the past, Biden said. Senator John McCain weighed in on it. That's right. Old corpsey McCain. Someone dusted him off for a second, propped him off, smacked him in the back of the head. He woke up and this shit spilled out of his mouth. An end to the first phase of the Libyan revolution. The U.S. and Europe must now deepen our support of the Libyan people. And then he went back to sleep. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell said the United States and Europe would help Libya put together a representative government. Well, I'm sure. Hey, look, those people are dying for a 70% tax rate, a devaluing currency, the world's most complex tax system, and privatization of all public and mom and pop owned businesses. Yeah, they're dying for it. There you go, Mitch McConnell. Quote, a number of people who led the Transitional National Council were educated in the United States and were obviously hopeful that they will want to have a representative government and that they will be an ally of the United States. Well, he was an ally of the United States for almost an entire 42 years. Up until about, a year ago? Hopefully they can have such a representative government like we get to have. You know, all the government representation we have. Because we have a say in everything, right, everybody? You know, in our free country that we live in, all the political representation that the people have, right? In our democracy, in our republic. We have no representation. Well, people say, well, all you got to do is vote. Just go vote. You got to vote. You got to vote other people in. You got to vote other people out. Comment in chat. Do I think they're going to use them to bail out the EU? I don't think they can. Do I think they'll? No, I think, there's no bailing anything out. We all know that. But no, it'll just be a siphoning of wealth, you know. And it'll be sold to us like it was sold to Greece 2 years ago when the IMF stepped in and, supposedly bailed them out after taking some of their islands and implementing austerity measures, and now look at Greece now after all that IMF help. That's how much they help you people. Hold on. Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chairman John Kerry. Oh, hold on, everybody. Let's hear what John Kerry has to say, because he's smart. He praised the Obama administration's involvement in Libya, saying the U.S., quote, demonstrated clear-eyed leadership, patience, and foresight by pushing the international community into action. Wow. John Kerry loves America, people. He loves America. That's why he takes his $1 million yacht and parks it down in Rhode Island so he doesn't have to pay Massachusetts tax on it. That's the freedom Al-Qaeda hates right there. What else do we have in this article? All right. Well, whatever. That's it. There's what the latest globalist lackey puppet in the White House had to say about it. And while we're on the topic of political figures, which I really try to avoid as much as possible because it's a waste of everybody's time to even pay any attention to these people. I just wish we wouldn't pay attention to them because maybe they just go away. But while I watch people argue about, I watch Tea Partiers slam Occupy Wall Streeters. I see Occupy Wall Streeters slam Tea Partiers. I watch Barack Obama and the Democrats get behind the Occupy Wall Street movement, even though Obama took most of his money from Wall Street. Would you like me to read the figures he took, the amount of money he took from Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, Citibank? Would you like me to read the numbers so you can so that when you read a headline and it says Obama supports Occupy Wall Street, you can scratch your head and go, what the fuck does that mean? Let me see if I can find the numbers real quick. I have them right on my desktop, I believe. I keep them up there so I can look at them sometimes. There it is. Goldman Sachs. $1 million. Harvard, $1 million. Citigroup, $1 million. J.P. Morgan, $1 million. I'm rounding up. Ooh, General Electric, $500,000. General Electric. And then they moved all their jobs overseas. IBM, $500,000. Yeah, IBM. They're good people, those IBMers. Nazi number system. You know IBM formulated the number system for the concentration camps. You know that, right? That's right. And then IBM and developed a number system for the camps, and George Soros stood at the entryway to concentration camps and numbered the prisoners coming in. He's allowed to go free, and he's allowed to finance left-wing liberal movements to cause destabilization in the country. See, when I throw out terms like left-wing liberal movements or socialist movements, or people tie that in with some type of political thing. No, it's just one side of the same coin. It's the two sides that get to play off each other so that a goal can be attained, an agenda can be met. I think those numbers were way low. Those were old. Yeah, those were supposed to be campaign contributions. They were from a while ago. They could be wrong. I'm sure they're higher than that. But here we go. While we get people that, yeah, that is true. Another comment in chat. All of his friends have, all of his Wall Street friends have jobs in the White House. That is true. It's a revolving door, just like the FDA and Monsanto. Same thing. But while it's funny, the voters, the people out there that are going to vote in this next election, I will never vote again, ever, because it's a waste of my time to do it. And you can yell and scream and say, well, then I have no reason to bitch. And yes, I have a big fucking reason to bitch, because I have nobody to vote for. Because I can't run for president because I'm not rich enough. So yeah, I can bitch if I don't vote. But as the voters out there, as the lefties and the righties all stand by and look at the other side with disdain, and they dislike, and we disagree with each other, and fucking blah, blah, blah. We got Billy Clinton and George W. Jr. palling around up in Canada today together. Just palling around, hanging out, having fun, arm in arm, going out to eat, flying up, flying back, getting a couple hookers together. Actually probably maybe little boys, I don't know. Maybe Bush, little boy, Clinton hooker, I don't know. Maybe blowing some lines. Whatever they're doing. They're palling around. Does that make you scratch your head and go, what the fuck? All you liberals out there that like Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, and he's hanging around with George Bush, and all you Republicans out there who hate Bill Clinton and hate Barack Obama, you have to hang out with your buddy George Bush. You don't feel like an idiot for holding any type of allegiance to any of these people? I mean, honestly. So this is out of British Columbia from CNN. Oh, there's some doozies in this one. Canadian authorities brace for protest. You see, the Canadian people, the Canadian citizens, a group of Canadian citizens wanted to arrest George Bush for war crimes. You know, something, you know, you lefty liberals out there, something that your guy, Barry, refuses to do. Refuses to do it. Canadian authorities brace for protests expected to take place near Vancouver, British Columbia on Thursday, outside an event where former U.S. Presidents George W. Bush and Bill Clinton are scheduled to appear. Amnesty International called on Canadian authorities to arrest Bush for war crimes, while activists announced Occupy Wall Street protests of the Economic Summit in Surrey, where the former presidents were scheduled to speak along with world finance experts. Quote, we should prefer his home country to try George W. Bush, said Alex Nev, Secretary General of Amnesty International Canada. Nev said Bush should face trial for ordering the so-called enhanced interrogation, such as waterboarding of suspected terrorists. But the Obama administration has made it clear that they do not intend to do that, so we are asking Canada to. We are not naive. It's an uphill fight, but we feel we have a strong case. You know that Bush didn't even go to Sweden a little while ago because he was afraid of getting arrested there, too? Well, thank you, Tajit J. Thank you. I mean, so across social media and the internet, activists called for an Occupy Surrey protest, similar to demonstrations in dozens of cities decrying Wall Street excess. You know, I just want to throw in a little disclaimer about the Occupy Wall Street movement here right now. I was thinking about it for a second, and we have been talking at length, at nauseum about this, right? Look, I know, and I've said this on the show, we need to have one clear message. End the Fed, you know, boycott Bank of America, all this stuff. You know, all that's fine and dandy, but as I'm thinking about it, I may even change my mind about this. Listen. The reason, now I know it's a vicious circle, okay? The banking system controls the show, bottom line, right? The Federal Reserve, it's not like the president and his cronies really have a say in much. They're basically mouthpieces. They go, they're told what they're supposed to do, they come back, they formulate a way to market it to you, to present it to you, to sell it to you and me, okay? But in the official story, in the fantasy that is our reality about how our political system works, supposedly the president's in charge, the government regulates or deregulates sectors, okay? So I say this. I love to play along with the official story. You know, I like to get all pissed off because I've been told I'm free and brave my whole life because I live on this piece of dirt on the planet here, on this beautiful planet that these people destroy. I say it's a beautiful planet because I've looked at every other planet I've ever looked at isn't as pretty as this one. So it's very simple. But I say that this movement has to change its focus to Washington. Well, I don't want to be any. I have a comment in chat that I must address. The person says that I have a professional voice, not like a house mom ranting like a want to be Limbaugh. Thanks, man. Look, I like to play along with the official story, and I think that we should change the focus. Well, like I have any say in this. I think that I would like to see the Occupy movement change its focus and focus on our government. On our government. Because if they're going to sit there and tell you and point the fingers at Wall Street and say, we're going to implement more financial regulations, more regs, we've got to reel these people in, right? Then let's hold them accountable for that. So that when we have to listen to a political figure tell us some bullshit story about how they're going to reel in the bad guys and they're going to right the wrong and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, 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 we hold them accountable. We hold them accountable for their words. See, there's no accountability for their words at all. Like the words that came out of Barack Obama's mouth today. The words like, he used terror as a political weapon. Let's hold them accountable for this shit. That's why these people do whatever they want. There's no accountability. Even if they get caught in the most heinous crimes. Look, it's common knowledge. There was no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, yet George Bush is palling around with Billy Clinton up there in Canada, and I didn't even get through this article to see what they're selling. I don't even know what they're selling. They're selling something up there. But do you see what I'm saying? There's no accountability here. That's up to us to hold them accountable because nobody else is going to. I would like to see the Occupy movement move from Wall Street, the epicenter. I would like to see it move to D.C. I would like to see that. I'd like somebody to call in and tell me what they think of that. I know. Gaddafi sending warships to Boston Harbor? Thank God. Thank God. I'll go fight on his side. All right, let me go back to what they're doing up in Canada here. Okay, so where was I? Oh, the Obama administration made it clear that they did not intend to do that. They mean prosecuting George Bush for war crimes. And so it goes on to say, across social media and the internet, activists have called for Occupy Surrey protests similar to the demonstrations in dozens of cities decrying Wall Street excess. And here's this little sentence in this piece by CNN by Patrick Oppman. Just one little sentence here. Several recent Occupy Wall Street demonstrations led to property damage and arrests. Why throw that in there? Just a little coercion, just a little mind fuck for you. That's all. Right? He didn't happen to put in there, several recent Occupy Wall Street demonstrations led to the beatings of innocent people and the arrests of innocent people. He didn't put that in there. No. Authorities in Canada said they were prepared for potential clashes with protesters, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police said. You know, I was watching some video footage of the Times Square incident with the mounted police, the mounted NYPD cops, and how they were using the horses to kind of drive into people and trample people and scare the hell out of people. And the horses looked really scared. I felt really bad for the horses. But it reminded me of Planet of the Apes in this scene where the apes are riding their horses around the field and corralling the humans up. But all I could think of, all I could hope for when I was watching that video was for one of the NYPD goons to walk behind one of those horses and get a nice hoof to the face. Oh, I was hoping that would happen, but it didn't. Damn it. I bet if Goldman Sachs was betting on it, it would have happened. Just because they have such incredible insight like Warren Buffett. I see people praising Warren Buffett on Facebook today, like he has a great idea to turn the economy around. Warren Buffett. Oh, God. Also, if you're new to the show and you're on Facebook, check out the front page on Facebook. It may not be there much longer. I was told that my page might get banned because I called Hillary Clinton a globalist whore. Well, actually, I didn't call her a whore. In reference to her mouth, for laughing and joking about the death of Gaddafi like it was a big skit. You know what? Maybe it was a big skit. You know why I say maybe it was a big skit? I'm gonna show you. Do you guys remember this clip from back in the spring when the Egyptian revolution, when the co-opted Egyptian revolt began from Kissinger? Listen to this. Remember this.
Well, I would talk as little publicly as possible because we don't really know what is going on. We are going to go through a period of great uncertainty and of a lot of maneuvering once the lid is off. Right now, everybody's focused on the removal of Mubarak. That is only the first scene of the first act of a drama that has to be played out.
The first act and the first scene of a drama that has to be played out.
And this act you're seeing lasting for several months, years perhaps?
And it will, this depends now I think we should stay out of that dispute because we don't want to look as if we are imposing a government.
Well, that's kind of contradictory, don't you say there, old Henry? It is first act in the first scene of a long drama that is about to be played out once the lid is off. But we must stay out of it because we don't want to look bad. How the hell do you know it's the first act of the first scene then, dude? So I don't know what act or scene we witnessed today, but I guess I can tell you one thing: the lid's off. Back to Canada. The summit is taking place. RCMP Corporal Drew Granger said in a statement, the force is going to respect the rights to democratic and lawful protest and is approaching this event no different than other similar events with the potential for conflict. That's in reference to the potential clashes with police over the desire to arrest George Bush. Now, why wouldn't the Canadian government arrest George Bush on war crimes? Oh, because they're all part of a globalist government. That's why it's the North American Union. It's pretty simple. I love when people are confused by things like this. The summit is taking place in Surrey, a city just south of Vancouver with a population of about 370,000. Organizers are charging $600 a head for an audience of about 500 people to listen to speakers, including Bush and Clinton. That's $600. Holy crap. I wouldn't... You wouldn't pay me $600 to be in a room with those people, unless it was a room alone. Then I'd do it for free. According to the summit agenda, the two ex-presidents will share the stage for about an hour to discuss they're going to share the stage. Oh, they're good buddies. Yeah. Buddy old pals. Oh, that president stuff's in the past, buddy. Don't worry about it. All that shit I talked about you on the campaign trail. You know, when I said you've completely destroyed and raped the country, that's just campaign talk. Don't worry about that. It's not real. It's craziness. real. All right. Do I have anything else relevant to say about this? No, I don't. Oh, let's get on to some more oppression in the land of the free, home of the brave. Tennessee becomes the first state to fight terrorism statewide. You go, Tennessee. Nice job. Good job. You're probably used to seeing TSA's signature blue uniforms at the airport, but now agents are hitting the interstates to fight terrorism with visible intermodal prevention and response teams, otherwise known as, get ready for the cool acronym, Viper teams. Viper. Yeah. Here's a quote. Try not to throw up in your own mouth. Here's a quote. Where is a terrorist more apt to be found? Not these days on an airplane, more likely on the interstate, said Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security Commissioner Bill Gibbons. Really, Bill? Can you give us some factual data on that statement, Bill? And then can you justify the incredible amount of ridiculous, quote-unquote, oppressive security that's in every airport? So we have radiation scanners and molestation going on, but now you're going to sit there and tell me a terrorist isn't really apt to be found in an airport anyway? Comment in chat. I've always called Tennessee the next terror hotbed. Well, we all saw it coming. Once Peyton left the Vols, you knew the whole thing was going to get co-opted. You know, Steve McNair tried to stand up, but you know what happened to him, just like Kennedy. I think you're right. Tuesday, Tennessee was the first to deploy Viper simultaneously. It was a coordinated effort, people. Tactics. It was the first to deploy Viper simultaneously at 5 way stations and 2 bus stations across the state. 7 places. At once. We are safer, just not yet safe. Oh, well, here's another comment in chat. This will explain the Tennessee terror hotbed comment. When I went to Gatlinburg, it was nothing more than mosques and skinheads. Yes, both funded by the same people. So you are correct. Agents are recruiting truck drivers like Rudy Gonzalez into the First Observer Highway Security Program. Oh, my God. The First Observer Highway Security Program. And guess what? Guess what Rudy Gonzalez's job is going to be in the First Observer Highway Security Program? It's going to be, if he sees something, say something. Not only truck drivers, but cars. Wow, it's a big idea. Everybody should be aware of what's going on in the road, said Gonzalez. Everybody. They're everywhere. It's all meant to urge every driver to call authorities if they see something suspicious. Quote, somebody sees something somewhere and we want them to be responsible citizens. Report that and let us work through it through our processors. Or abate the concern that they have had when they saw something suspicious, said Paul Arms, TSA Federal Security Director for Nashville International Airport. Hey, Paul, hate to tell you, but Bill just said there's no terrorists in the airport. They're on the roads. The Tennessee Highway Patrol checked trucks with drugs and bomb-sniffing dogs during the random inspections. Quote, the bottom line is this, people. This is a quote, the bottom line. This is the bottom line, is this. If you see something suspicious, say something about it. I see something suspicious. I see the implementation of a complete and total dictatorial police state being implemented right in front of my fucking face. And I'm saying something about it. Not going to get me anywhere. The random inspections, so it's random inspections. The random inspections really aren't any more thorough normally, according to Tennessee Highway Patrol Colonel Tracy Trott, who said paying attention to details can make a difference. Trott pointed out it was an Oklahoma State trooper who stopped Timothy McVeigh for not having a license plate after the Oklahoma City bombing in the early 1990s. Yes, and then Timothy McVeigh proceeded to fall out of his car, foaming at the fucking mouth, screaming, "Get it out of me, get it out of me, get it out of me." And his psychiatrist is the same psychiatrist for the Fort Hood shooter. What was that guy's name? Can't remember it off the top of my head. And, of course, McVeigh thought he was part of the military. He was seen in military uniform in Oklahoma City building with other members of military, so nobody thought anything about it. Not even McVeigh. And we won't mention the other bombs that were found in the building. We won't mention any of that stuff. No, we'll just listen to this fluoridated, dumbed-down, brainwashed Highway Patrol Colonel Tracy Trott, who has been pumped up by her superiors and made to feel like she can make a difference. She could be a hero if she just stays vigilant against the terror threat that is obviously running rampant in Tennessee. Tuesday's statewide Viper operation isn't in response to any particular threat, according to officials. That's just one sentence. That's it, all by itself. Okay? That's it. ARM said intelligence indicates law enforcement should focus on highways as well as the airports. Well, that is some intelligence, I'll tell you. Super, super intelligent. I have a news clip about that story, if y'all would like to hear it. And I know you do, so I'll play it.
Tennessee is now the first state ever to work with the TSA to deploy a simultaneous counterterrorism operation statewide. News Channel 5's Adam Gassini was at one of their way station checkpoints today near Portland.
Yeah, Vicki, this was a massive operation, really bringing all federal, state, and local agencies together to not only do random searches, but also create an army of agents on wheels. You're probably used to seeing these signature blue uniforms at the airport. But now TSA agents are on the interstates fighting terrorism with visible intermodal prevention and response, or Viper operations.
Where is the terrorist most apt to be found? Not these days on an airplane, or likely on the interstate.
Tuesday, Tennessee was the first to do this simultaneously at 5 way stations and 2 bus stations statewide. They're recruiting truck drivers like Rudy Gonzalez into the First Observer Highway Security Program to say something if they see something.
Not only truck drivers, but cars, everybody should be aware of what's going on the road.
It's all meant to urge every driver to call authorities if they see something suspicious.
If somebody sees something somewhere and we want them to be responsible citizens, report that, and let us work it through our processes to vet the concern that they had when they saw something suspicious.
The Tennessee Highway Patrol is checking trucks with drug and bomb-sniffing dogs during random inspections. During one today, they found barrels of chemicals on the back of this truck that seemed suspicious. But after checking for dangerous levels of combustibles,
all clear. Good news.
The driver had to only secure a loose barrel before getting back on the road with countless other tractor-trailers. Homeland Security officials worry one day could be used for terrorism.
The bottom line is this: if you see something suspicious, say something about it.
Now, the random inspections really aren't any more thorough than normal, but Colonel Tracy Trott with the Tennessee Highway Patrol says it's all in the details, pointing out what happened when an Oklahoma State trooper stopped Timothy McVeigh for not having a license plate just after the Oklahoma City bombing. Vicki?
Adam, thanks. We want to urge you, today's Viper searches did not come from any particular threat. One TSA official says intelligence tells them they should be focusing on the highways as well as the airports.
Bad intelligence. Remember in Team America, World Police? Bad intelligence. Hey, yeah, so in the big, massive, coordinated effort with all the federal agencies and the incredible tactics and deploying the Viper teams at 6, 7 different locations simultaneously, what was the outcome? A barrel wasn't strapped down properly. So all that, wonder what that cost the taxpayers. Strap that guy's barrel down. And as far as I read comments in the chat about the truck driver, wonder what that guy got for being recruited. Well, you know, not to stereotype here, but he was of Latino Mexican descent. Perhaps they allowed him to continue driving down the road. Perhaps they allowed him to keep his green card. I don't know, but you know, certainly wasn't a Tea Party guy they pulled over. Or recruited. Oh, man. Yes, comment in chat. This is messing with my head. I agree. It is messing with my head. I mean, people, this is Stazi on the streets. So what is this now? We go out, we drive down the road. Now we have to stop at Viper team checkpoints and prove who we are and answer questions about where we're going, where we just came from, who's in our car, what's in our trunk. Fuck you. How about that? And it didn't stop there. We got some crazy shenanigans going on up in Buffalo, New York. Thruway installing gates for emergency closures. What? The State Thruway Authority is installing ramp-controlled gates to be used for emergency closures so state troopers won't have to block the entrances in their cars. The agency says the gates are now being installed at 7 locations along I-90 and I-90 in the Buffalo area. The gates will be operated manually. The Thruway Authority is also installing movable barriers at 8 locations between Interchange 50 in Amherst and Interchange 55 in West Seneca. These barriers are to be used during an all lanes closure in either direction to guide traffic into a U-turn or clear block lanes. Yes, when we were in at Wall Street, actually on Wall Street itself, there are these metal plates that are built into the streets that raise up at an angle like a mini bridge so that they can block the street. Metal, like a big metal barrier, solid steel that come up out of the street. I don't know. That kind of sounds like ramp control gates, or does this mean like on and off ramps, installing gates at the entrances and exits to on and off ramps? I'm not quite sure, but either way, just sounds a little odd. A little odd. All right. So the last remainder of the show, I'm going to get off the politics and the ridiculousness that is whatever it is. I have some survival stuff for you guys. As far as food goes, I have an article here dealing with MREs and another interesting thing here. Now, when you're thinking about storable food, yes, actually, yeah. Let me just go back to that. Let me go back to that article about Buffalo and the Thruway and the ramps. That's exactly, comment in chat. You won't be able to get out when the shit hits the fan. That's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. You know, shit hits the fan. They enact these things, these movement impedance barriers, wherever they are, all over the place. You know, funnel traffic, deter traffic, stop traffic, whatever. I was thinking the same thing. People be like, well, why would they do that? Then people can get out. Well, because they don't care about you. Get it through your head. Grow up. Go put on some grown-up clothes and come back. The ins and outs of MREs. Within days after Hurricane Katrina struck the coast of Louisiana, this is a price breakdown of MREs, and it also describes some high-calorie bars that are great for bug-out bags or just stored stuff. And if I get to it, which I probably will, I have a recipe. For homemade high-calorie bars, 2,000 calories per bar. This homemade recipe doesn't look that appetizing, and I would probably poke around a little bit before I started making these, but nevertheless, we'll check it out. Within days after Hurricane Katrina struck the coast of Louisiana, unprepared inhabitants were given MREs and which stands for meals ready to eat for anybody who doesn't know, and high-calorie bars by emergency agencies to avoid starvation. They were? Within days. Really? They didn't get water there for like a week, right? At least 3 days. This emergency food provided the hungry population with 1,200 calorie a day meals to not only alleviate the hunger, but to provide needed calories and nutrients and regulate body functions. As unhappy as some of these individuals were for getting MREs and high-calorie food bars to save their lives. Somebody was unhappy about that? I doubt it. Where does that come from? So the pros about MREs, and we're going to go through the pros and cons. I personally have no MREs. The reason I don't have MREs is, 1, they're expensive. 2, they're heavy. 3, they're big and bulky and they take up a lot of room. That could completely screw me down the road. Just saying. But the pluses of MREs are this. MREs and high-calorie food bars. See, I would prefer a high-calorie food bar to an MRE. Lighter and less pack space it's going to take up. MREs and high-calorie food bars are an excellent alternative food source if no food is available. Although this type of food source is meant to be a temporary source of food and has an acquired taste, it is handy to have on hand when you're in a pinch. During emergency situations, your activity levels slightly increase, if not double. Therefore, more calories will need to be added to the daily diet. That is how most people die in emergency situations, or in long-term emergency situations, is lack of calories. Too much calorie expenditure versus not enough calorie intake. Besides, temperature regulation of your body and water intake. Let's see here. Ideally, in an emergency situation, we want to have foods on hand that are high in calories, vitamins, nutrients, and proteins, but in certain cases, we must turn to alternative emergency foods. MREs and high-calorie bars not only provide a body with high calories, but are a lightweight alternative to use in bug-out bags, carry in vehicle bug-out bags, and have on hand in case the primary emergency food source is unavailable. As convenient as these meals are, they should not be your main emergency food source. I like to think of MREs as my backup for my backup. See, I'd get some MREs as backup for my backup. When purchasing these types of food sources, ensure that you find MREs or high-calorie bars that are A, between $5 and $7 per meal, B, non-thirst provoking. I guess that would mean lower in sodium. I'm not quite sure. C, provide high calories, at least 1,250 calories per meal. And D, have a long-lasting shelf life, 5 years or more. The cons of MREs. Because MREs are high in fats and low in fiber, they have a tendency to constipate the consumers. Great. Ensure that you have some stool softeners in your medical supplies to help with this problem. Store MREs in a cool, dark area where you would normally store your food preserves. If MREs are exposed to temperature fluctuations, their expiration date decreases by 50%. Buying cases of MREs could be on the expensive side due to the bulkiness of the MREs. On average, a case holds 12 MREs. If a person is going to buy a case of these, they should not plan to spend more than $50 or $60. So 12 meals, $50 or $60. And a lot of space. Well, again, good backup to backup, I guess. Some of the more popular MREs and high-calorie food bars are below. You see, the way I look at it is this. If I'm in a bug-out situation and I have a pack and I got to boogie as fast as I possibly can, weight and bulk in my pack are things that I need to pay attention to. And so that's why the MRE packs that I've seen, they're big and they're heavy. I don't know. And then again, I've never eaten one, so I really can't even say as far as taste goes. If they were good, delicious enough, then maybe I would say it's worth it. I don't know. Some of the more popular MREs are high calorie food bars. Are some of these. We have a 3,600 calorie ER bar. This bar has 3 days worth of nutrients and calories, plus being a lightweight alternative food source. It also is non-thirst quenching. This bar is ready to eat and does not require any water to consume it. So that's a 3,600 calorie bar, which I would imagine takes up less space in your pack than a 1,200 calorie MRE. That's the way to go. Yeah, I agree. Comment in chat. I don't think you can get a case of MREs for under $70. Yeah, that $50 or $60 seemed a little cheap to me from what I've seen. That's another reason why I avoided them. They're just expensive. I wish I knew somebody like in the military that could like grab them for me. I wonder if they can get them. Probably not. I don't know. Then we have these things called Datrex bars. You can. I'm going to post this article up, people, on the Front's Facebook page. Then it'll be on the Front's website, frontradio.net, frontradio.net, frontradio.net. Let me do that. Let me do that. Let me do that. Okay, that. That's what I wanted to do. So it'll be up there, so you can check out. You can Google these different bars as I go through them. Check them out if you want to purchase any. I might do it. I'm thinking about doing this next one actually. These are called. Well, let me do the Datrex bars first. Datrex bars. These are very popular and come in 3,600 calorie units. Each block of the bar gives you 200 calories. There are 18 blocks per bar. Daltrex food rations are used by the American Red Cross, bunch of commies and Nazis, and the U.S. Coast Guard. Good guys. They are immune to heat or cold, except for Admiral Thad Allen. He's a prick. They are immune to heat or cold, and the taste resembles a coconut cookie. Coconut cookie. Then we have these right here. I like these. Mainstay food bars. These bars come in 3,600 calorie units, but each bar in the block gives you 400 calories, which would be 9 bars in a block, instead of the 200 calories of the Datrex bars. These food bars are approved by the U.S. Coast Guard and the Department of Defense. Hey, anything approved by the DOD is good enough for me, baby. Kidding. These have a very popular vanilla lemon flavored cookie dough taste and have been rated #1 for taste according to Nitro Pack. Mainstay is kosher approved, and it meets the. I don't even know what that means. Some Jewish thing. Sorry. Another benefit is that each bar exceeds the RDA requirements of vitamins and minerals. So even though the recommended daily allowance of vitamins and minerals wouldn't save a starving Ethiopian child, to exceed that and to get any amount of vitamins and minerals you can would be a bonus. So that's why out of these bars that I've read about so far, I would try those Mainstay bars. I actually looked those up, and they were pretty cost effective. I was looking at them on Amazon, but I can't remember what the price was on that. Then we're back to MREs. MREs are completely self-contained, easy to prepare meals you can take with you. Blah, 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 blah. Now, these say easy MREs have a shelf life of 3 to 10 years. That's a pretty wide range, wouldn't you say? MREs are durable and give you a high-calorie meal, which is needed for intense physical situations like camping, relief work, or emergency situations. Then we have these things called Mayday bars. This bar offers a 2,400 calorie. Okay, it's ready to eat. And then we have these things here. These make-your-own bars, right? Let's see. Make-your-own bars. I'm going to post this recipe up, okay? If you make it, please, come on, call on the show. Tell me how the bar was. I'm going to make them. Maybe I'll make them this weekend. They look horrific, though. I'm not going to lie to you. But maybe we can do some with the recipe, or maybe we can find a better recipe. If anybody out there finds a better recipe for a homemade, high-calorie bar, do we call these things? I guess just a high-calorie bar. Email me the recipe or let me know what's going on. My email is thefront@live.com. It's thefront@live.com. You can obviously grab that off the website, frontradio.net. Here, let me just throw the Front's website up in the chat room for all you chatters in there. You can mosey on over there. And if you love the website, your fellow chatter in the room, Jewel E. Stan, it's all her. Okay. You know, when my clicker doesn't work, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna. There we go. It worked that time. It only took me 15 clicks. All right. So let me check out this recipe here for you guys. I'll just tell you what's in it. The ingredients are 2 cups of oats, 2.5 cups of powdered milk. You know, I've been really thinking about powdered milk as a cheap form of protein powder. Thinking about it. Gotta look into that. 2.5 cups of powdered milk, 1 cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of honey, 1 3-ounce packet of Jell-O. They suggest either orange or lemon Jell-O. And 3 tablespoons of water. Ooh, sounds thick. You mix the oats, powdered milk, and sugar together in a bowl. A couple of them, they say, used regular oats. A couple used quick oats. I really don't think it matters what you use. Whatever you have on hand is fine. In a medium pan, mix water, Jell-O, and honey. Bring to a boil. We found that a rolling boil was better than just beginning to boil for the mixing step. I didn't know. The author of this article was following this recipe, and he says, I did not know why the recipe called for lemon or orange Jell-O, so we made some with raspberry and watermelon. When we tasted them, we figured the lemon or orange were specified due to the high amount of sugar in this recipe. The sweet Jell-O bars were really, really sweet when they were done. One of us also misread the instruction email and mixed her Jell-O in with the dry ingredients. So we just boiled water and honey at this step, and it gave the final product a slightly different texture, but it still worked. Lemon, okay, and then we have pictures. They have pictures of their process here. Let's see. So after it's all done, let me see here. You add Jell-O mixture to the dry ingredients. Mix well. If the dough is too dry, add a small amount of water, a teaspoon at a time. This is where it got a bit tricky. You want this to be dry, but it has to be moist enough to stick together. All right, so you basically just trickle the water in as you're kind of kneading it up and shaping it into like a big brick. And then you add the water a little bit at a time. Do not get impatient. Just add a bunch. Okay, blah, blah, blah. All right, so it's pretty simple. You just mix it all together, boil it, mix it all together, add a little water in there, shape it into a brick, and it looks absolutely, it either looks delicious or really gross. I can't decide. But then you put them into a brick shape, and then you place them on a cookie sheet and bake at 350 for 20 minutes. But then he goes on to say that possibly it might be better if you put in the oven and dry at a lower heat. It might keep them a little more moist and might not let them burn at all. He says that it became a pain in the butt because there's so much sugar and it burned like sugar on the pan. All right. So anyways, just to know. Just to say, look, there's a recipe out there. We can make our own survival food at home. So I'll be doing this. I'll get back to you guys on how it came out. The show is just about to end. I appreciate you guys hanging. I calmed down a little bit as the show went on. I apologize if I said anything that offended anybody. Nothing was meant to offend. So anyway, look, people, talk to people. It's really going wrong in this place. We got to fix it. Anyways, have a great weekend. I'll see you all Monday. Take these words of wisdom to heart. Thanks for being here.
Your choice is simple. Join us and live in peace, or pursue your present course and face obliteration. We shall be waiting for your answer. The decision rests with you.